We are live right now and we have excellent connection. Well, welcome Teacher Sam of YouTube, Teacher Samantha, better known, I know, in her part of the world and our part of the world, Queen of ManyCam, right? She'll tell you her ManyCam Facebook group as well. So make sure you go subscribe on her YouTube channel. I will post the link below as well, Teacher Samantha. I had the privilege of attending Teacher Sam's workshop at Journey DC and another virtual one, actually. I think it was late last year or maybe early this year. I can't remember. But go ahead. You can start asking your ManyCam questions in our YouTube chat box and we'll get to it as we're going through this whole interview. In case you don't know me, I am Loretta Holmberg of Teach and Reach YouTube channel, obviously, since you're on this channel. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Teacher Sam. And thank you so much, Teacher Sam, for agreeing to do this interview. So we're going to just get right on it because I know there'll be a lot of questions and a lot of answers as well. So I want to know when you started teaching for Vipkid.
Okay, so I started teaching in July of 2017. So I just signed contract number 7. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it went so fast. It was just one of those things. I was laying on the couch one day, flipping through my phone, saw an ad on Facebook. I said, well, this looks interesting. My school was going through, a bit of reorging and trying to figure out where I was going to be in the fall. And I said, well, this looks interesting. Let's give it a try. And I applied. I received a phone call, I think within 2 hours, asking me to interview.
Wow. This is back when they actually call you to ask you to interview.
Right? Yes, it was insane. So I just interviewed that night. And of course, this was before there was all these YouTube channels.
Right.
I had no idea to have like all these background things and my camera set up. Right. And so, I set myself up for probably one of the bottom pay rates when I go back and look at it.
Right.
And then I did my mock class about 2 days later. The interesting thing is my interview was with an American teacher that is actually still teaching that I'm friends with. There was this small time, there was a beta program where teachers actually did interviews of other teachers.
Got it. Yes.
And then I went on and did
my and it was a live interview, right? It was a live interview.
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, and then a mock class. And then I think like 4 days later, I was able to open up my schedule. So it was
wow, that was quick.
Expedited. It was right. Is this real? What's going on?
So wait, you said 2017. You might have said the month, but I don't remember. July. So it was summertime. It was July 2017.
Yeah, wow. July 2000. And I just said to my husband, like, honey, I'm sending all my private and personal information to China. Right.
Right.
It's legit. I think it's so, I'm just going to do it. I didn't know anybody who taught with Vipkid. Right. I did no research. It was really
you just saw it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna apply it, kind of like what I did. I didn't know anybody who taught. I'm like, I just applied last year and I got in, but I didn't know anybody who taught Vipkid. And then once you get in and then you start here, oh yeah, okay, this person knows. All right, well, when you first started though, because this is all going to be about digital background, digital use of all kinds of things in the classroom. When you first started, did you go digital right away?
I did not. When I first started, I was for a good solid year, just props. I had a Lenovo laptop. My friend that I had kind of met as we were in I think one of the new hire teachers Facebook groups, she was telling, she was breaking away into trying to use this ManyCam and I'm like trying it on my laptop and I went in a little bit and then I started to it was like it worked until it didn't because, my computer wasn't ready for it. But I was all about props. If you were part of the videos and props group back in the day, you would see my videos were all about making backgrounds. I made so many backgrounds. I used so many physical rewards, still customized pretty much to every single class.
Wow.
It wasn't until about a year in, I started using just the digital prop enhancement of my classroom, not going green screening yet, implementing Google Slides. And first I was using Google Slides actually on my Kindle. So I would hold up my Kindle.
Like the separate device. You just
a separate device. So that was ending up being part of it. But I have a really bad case of dropsies. I drop everything.
Oh dear.
So the Kindle was just another thing. And then once you drop it, you're like, ooh, that's on the
Can't
floor.
use that anymore.
Yeah. So I ended up just going back. And then I ended up buying a refurbished gaming computer for dirt cheap, like really, really cheap. And then once I used it and I started with ManyCam, I was like, oh my goodness, look at what it can do.
Right.
And then it just took off from there.
So you were using the Google Slides first before going green screening. You were using the digital props through what? Through what?
I was using through ManyCam, but the very minor things that ManyCam can do. So I was doing
they can do stuff like
along the screen, some little things like that. You know, if I had an apple in my hand, then I would throw an apple on the screen. Or if I had Mike in my hand, I would throw Mike on the screen. And for me, it was all about just like silly, like little presentations. I think it was almost like a PBS show. Like, how can I make this entertaining for the students? So if I took like an apple and I had it in my hand, you know, I would have it right here and I would just do something like really silly and I'd be like, boop, you know, and it was like these little things that I started doing with my students. And it was just those little effects I was just having fun with. Then I slowly added Google Slides and then it all spiraled from there.
Right. So for those of us who don't want to get into green screening right away, chroma key right away, we can do simple little things like that to get us comfortable with the different features and effects that we can use in the classroom and still make it engaging and motivating for the student, right? And make the class really
100%. The green screen, like in fact, behind my green screen, some of my old backgrounds. So this one I used to have up all the time. I used to have this really involved Meg and Mike and everything will be there, but I still, you know, sometimes will go from my green screen to regular backgrounds. So it's not like the green screening is a great aspect to it, but I really think it's one of like, to me, sometimes like the final wow. It's great too if you have a small space or you're like me who likes to change something almost all the time.
Right.
But I find this is environment. Your digital props are education. So to me, it's always about learning what to use to help your students learn. You know, people talk about being, you know, I'm a minimalist teacher or I don't like to use any props. And in the online world or in the world of ESL or, you know, English as a foreign language, you know, props aren't there for you as a teacher.
Right.
They're there for the student to learn.
Right. Exactly.
So adding in the components of visuals is so important, whether it's digital, whether it's realia, you know, hopefully it's a combination of all.
Right. It helps them connect with what it is that you're trying to teach them. And then hopefully, you know, they will absorb that and like, oh yeah, then they'll remember it. Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
You don't know all our students well enough to know how they learn.
Exactly.
So I can't go in and get to know them and say, this student is a visual learner. This student is like, you know, needs to move. They're into kinesthetic learning. This kid, you know, so I incorporate all three every single time for every single class. And, you know, so when I'm gone off screen, they have enough in their brain to know what maybe hit it. Yeah.
Right. So moving into from your 3D props and 2D props and then moving into using Google Slides on your Kindle and whatnot. And then like, okay, now I'm going to use ManyCam. What helped you with learning about ManyCam for you to use in the online Vipkid classroom?
I think it was just my lack of fear of trying. I'll be honest with you. I just went out and did it. Like, you know, it's one of those, no different than the way back in the day I had to learn PowerPoint or I had to learn, you know, Word or any company you work for and you need to learn like their platform. You know, you just do it and then you go, hey, that was cool. Let me do it again, you know, or let me try it differently. And you find these little breakthroughs. And then, of course, bringing together different people that were using digital technology, you know, I would observe somebody else do something and I'd be like, that would be great. I'd either take it and go with it, or I would take it and expand upon it. And everything I would just try it in the classroom. And sometimes you go like, whoa, that did not work. That one was a bad idea. But, you know, for the most part, it's just not overthinking it. So, you know, in the beginning, I was using like my text box at the bottom of my screen for the most part. So, you know, it would be something simple like I see a ball and I would have it like right here. And for the most part, this is how I did a lot of my, sentence buildings. And then you could just be like, I see a ball. And I loved it. It was great. But then I'm like finding sometimes there's just more things on the screen that I wanted. So then it evolved from being like something here on the bottom of my screen to moving on to more of like a Blackboard type environment.
And then you start typing on the like.
I see with my eyes, I see a ball. So then I would start to do it a little bit more. And I'm like, wow, this just looks more better. What's going to be more captivating? What do I want the student to focus on? And if the student would leave out like the word which is usually what would happen.
Yes.
You can draw on your screen instead and be like, what goes here? I see, and really get them to play with it and then be able to put in with them.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
And so it ended up just being more of trial and error than anything else.
So, I mean, who helped you with learning about ManyCam?
No.
What did you do? Like, how did you? Well, okay, there's no physical person, but how did you go about learning about how to do this and that? What kind of resources?
I wish I could say that there was one person who taught me.
Right.
But there literally was not.
Did you just get the software and then just start playing around with it?
Yeah, so I've heard about it. Yeah, that's exactly, Loretta. It's exactly what I did. My friend had told me about it and I started to, like, you would see pictures and things of what people did.
Right.
And they were, at the time, like ManyCam itself had evolved, because before you used to, like, if you wanted to add your own effects, you would have to upload them into the library, then you'd have to download it. So as ManyCam evolved, you were able to just drag and drop items into ManyCam, like super easy. So it became so much quicker to be able to just do things on the fly. Like the new trial that suddenly there's seals in the new trial, like seals. I was like, I need seals. And I was able to just simply find it and pull it in. Nobody. It sounds really bad, but nobody taught me how to use ManyCam. I just kept playing and I would see if it works. Then I would share my ideas. And then other people would say something like, "Ooh, I did that, but then I did this too." And I'd be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool too." But I never had any formal training or informal training on ManyCam.
Right. But you do have a video, right? Or I know you definitely have a workshop for like newbies who want to kind of get an overview on ManyCam. I think you do have a video. I'm pretty sure you do have think I watched it.
ManyCam? I have multiple videos on
I
have dozens upon dozens of videos. And then I do webinars, and I told people I was going to be doing more and more. And unfortunately what happened is COVID. And I have my kids home and I really need to be able to schedule. And it's all volunteer time too. So I have to start to weigh out some of those things. But will start again doing more and more of the webinar series. And I think having them as a set time throughout the days when people can join in and help them. And I actually found the most successful webinar I did was literally one that had no topic. It was just the open room, come in,
ask questions,
12 o'clock, and let's problem solve or ask questions. And those tend to be really popular.
Right. Teacher Sam also recently, a couple of months ago, presented at the was it 6 Apple webinar seminar through Vipkid. You had a lot of attendees for that one.
I did. I know, that was very exciting. But it was the largest 6 Apple audience.
So, I mean, it tells you that people want to delve into this, either virtual background or just, virtual rewards and kind of make it interesting, but not only interesting, but something that would enhance the learning, right, for the students. People do want to do that, but some people are just kind of like, I don't know whether I can do it. And obviously they're afraid of a lot of different things. What if it doesn't work while I'm in the classroom? What if I'm going to get a teacher IT because some things doesn't work and then some things don't work and, I get booted out or whatever, all those kind of things. So what are some things that Vipkid teachers need to have to get started on using ManyCam?
Well, okay. I mean, I think that's a really great question. The first thing I want to clarify is that there's like a rumor mill out there that'll say Vipkid does not want, people. And if you set up for an IT session with somebody in Vipkid with the tech people, they will say sometimes to remove your ManyCam if you're having issues within your classroom, because it is a third-party platform, right? So Vipkid cannot give support, right? If you're having difficulty with ManyCam. However, they do know the benefits, or that, and you do not need digital props to be a successful teacher. You can be a very successful. There are thousands upon thousands.
Yes.
I would think more people don't use digital technology actually than do. Okay. So nobody's saying you have to.
Right.
I use it, and we're going to go into what you need, but I use it because I drop everything. So I'm also I'm an improv comedian. I'm an improv actress, right? So I have a side gig and I do improv shows and I'm an actress. So for me, my brain works on the fly. I don't plan ahead. I'm not one of those people who plan throw me a class and I will teach it. Like I don't, and so it's just the way my brain works. And ManyCam gives me the freedom to be a total, on the spot, spontaneous person. And I do love that. You do need to have, so Vipkid has their own resources needed to successfully have a Vipkid class. So we ruled out, you no longer can use Chromebooks and things like that. And so I do think there are quite a few teachers out there, honestly, that are even on the very minimum of what they should even have within their Vipkid class. If you're finding that you are having a decent amount of IT issues, the chances of it being the class are actually pretty slim. Right. There is a chance that it is your computer, it is your router, it is your internet service. You need to clean out your cache in your computer. There's just too much going on, or too little memory. So what I like to take a look at is what are the requirements for Vipkid's platform to run really well, and what are the requirements for ManyCam at its fullest capacity to run really well, keeping in mind that ManyCam was created as a gaming streaming software. It was not created for teachers to be teaching through platforms. It was for gamers to stream their games. So then when you start using ManyCam for live, video interaction, and we're pinging off Chinese servers, you need to have a decent piece of equipment. It's basically the metaphor I used in my webinar classes. If you're building a deck in your backyard, you're not going to drive to Home Depot with a Volkswagen Beetle. It's, even though it's beautiful, or a Prius, they're gorgeous and environmentally sound. They're expensive. They don't get the job done. You're better off going in an old beat up Ford F-150 from the 80s, or a Bronco or something like that. Right? So it's not the beautiful brand new computer. It's what has inside. So a fast processor. You don't need to have the newest and greatest. Like some people will say, oh, don't buy anything, that processor's 3 years old. But it's fast, and if it's working, it's great. My computer is a refurbished gaming computer I bought for just under $300.
Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah.
So I have an AMD processor. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and I have a dedicated sound card. And it's just the right combination of things, right? So I've said that I'm fine with spending $300 on this computer and letting it take me a year and a half, 2 years. And if I need to then get a new one for another $300, I'll just grab a new one.
That's a steal.
It'll be fine. And I bought a desktop, and then I have a 27-inch monitor. If you were to go to the store and you want to go to Staples or Best Buy and buy a computer that really can hit what ManyCam can do, without, I really feel like you're spending at least $1,000 or $2, or more. And the same thing if you wanted to go to Mac, you just don't need that. You just don't need all that. You just need something that can take you there.
So how many gigabytes? How many gigabytes do we need?
Well, so I feel that 12 to 16. So is it, there's people that have 8 and a slower processor, and they get through it. But I say that it'll work until it doesn't. And that's pretty fact, because the more you add on your computer, so when you're running your green screening, you have your webcam going, your green screen going, you have Vipkid's platform going, you have animation going, and whatever else elements you have on your computer, if you're going to be using, a ton of Google Slides open and all these other things, what is your computer's ability to juggle it all? At never any point should you be glitchy, you just shouldn't be glitchy. So.
Okay. So you do have a video that you highly recommend for newbies to watch, that you have step-by-step instruction.
There's a video too. There's in the Facebook ManyCamers group, I recorded a Zoom, right? I recorded a Zoom meeting for intro, but I do within my YouTube channel. Yeah. So
we will link that. We will link that below. But definitely join the VIP. Is it Vipkid Facebook ManyCamers or Facebook
ManyCamers?
Okay, Vipkid ManyCamers.
Yeah.
What if they're like non-Vipkid teachers listening and they want to get in touch with you? Can they still join that group or not?
Well, so then there's the online teacher Sam is my profile page. So I switched. I used to, like, just as of yesterday.
I know, I saw that.
I had it for so long. But what I'm doing is I'm working with many teachers within my area and district and things like that. And I just wanted to be able to, I just didn't want to worry about using that company brand name anywhere outside of the company. I just really want to open it up to just like literally, almost every teacher here in Massachusetts is now an online teacher.
Yeah.
My daughter's not going back to school. We're remote until January 2021, right?
Yeah.
So all these teachers are suddenly remote teachers. And so my goal is to help any and all teachers, but not only the teachers, the parents and their students. And getting them excited about creating a learning environment where they look great and they're presentable on camera. And so now everybody's engaged when it comes to the Zoom part of their classes. Everybody is feeling good. Then when you're off camera, go do your homework at the dining room table. Go do whatever. But I really feel like having an actual space to teach and having an actual space to learn, just like a student would have their own desk at school. And
that learning environment makes a big difference. And even if it's virtual, you want them to know that, okay, they're now in school, right? Even though it's they're meeting their teachers on Zoom or Google Meets or whatever. It's like, I am in a separate learning environment now. It distinguishes me from just being in my living room or being in my dining room or whatever. And that makes a big difference.
When you think of a classroom too, where's the teacher's desk for the most part, right? The teacher is kind of at the front of the room with either the smart board or the chalkboard or whatever kind right behind them, right? So the teacher is never where you would look at the teacher and the entire classroom is behind them. So I try to explain that to teachers. Don't sit at a kitchen table that's going to now look into your living room, your family room, whatever else. Turn around and go up against a wall just for your Zoom session. Do whatever you want to do when you're doing everything else, but think about, what is going to be captivating to your student. And I work with the students too on having fun creating poster boards, and they hang it up behind them. And little Peter's thing, and he's got Spider-Man here because he loves Spider-Man.
Oh, his identity comes into that, little, we're all little boxes or little boxes of rectangles, right? All 2x2. Yeah. And so we can bring in our personalities that way. And this is a great idea. And, it's not just Massachusetts. That's, that's
it's many schools.
It's like so many, like I'm in Maryland and all of us are online till January. And who knows whether we're going back, after, right? So we don't know. So in order to prepare them to get to there, I think what you're offering is awesome. So look for you, Online Teacher Sam.
Online Teacher Sam on Facebook, right? So my goal is to help out. So by nature, before I was a teacher, I was a corporate trainer. I was a corporate trainer for Fidelity Investments and then for another company called PFPC in Unum Providence. So that's my job by nature, is corporate training. And then, it helped me get into this. And I think that helped me into my MCM role, and things. But I dig, I love corporate training. So I'm looking to get into help as many districts as I can. And in my area here, it's all volunteer. I volunteer my time.
Right. And so, all right, what is the learning curve for using ManyCam for teaching on, and on online virtual classroom, right? Whether it's Vipkid or online brick and mortar classroom, what is the learning curve?
I think the learning curve it's actually one thing I like about, one of the things I really like about ManyCam is I find compared to all of the other virtual background type kind of things you can do, I think it truly is the most user-friendly aspect. And I think if I share my screen, Loretta, may I?
Okay. Yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can.
All right.
It will show up. Yeah.
It says it's you've.
Oh, did I disable it? Oh, wait. Oh no, advanced sharing. All right. All participants go ahead. You should be able to have it now.
Awesome. Okay, so let me make this big. All right, so like, for example, this is the ManyCam, the ManyCam screen,
right?
My home screen right now where I am. And I'm a little bit, pixelated, but that's just because I just haven't fixed
it big.
everything today. Okay, so if you take a look at the sides, I mean, really it is like if we especially get to the drawing screen right here, it's really no different than your basic word processing kind of program, right?
Right.
You can draw on a screen, like you would want to do and clear it off. I can turn on a text box, and I can write whatever I want to write and
that's
change.
awesome.
Yeah, you just change your font size if you want to do it. I can drag the box up a little bit more so we can see it. You can make it transparent,
right.
All the way so they can't even see like the background behind it.
Right.
So as far as like that sort of stuff, I feel like however easy you feel you can do that, right?
Right.
Little timers in class, I think for brick and mortar teachers, these timers are really amazing. If we're going to set together a project or, hey guys, I'm going to give you, 3 minutes to go ahead and get started on that, just the basic element of putting a timer up there when you're in your Zoom class so the students can see that we have, a timer going on or a stopwatch. We still need to keep these, I think being VIP Kid teachers, we've understood pacing. Pacing is a huge thing. And I think these online remote teachers, these brick and mortar teachers now are going to start to understand the element of pacing online, because in the classroom, we can give them a lot of, okay, go ahead and work on this. And
well, there's a lot of, close proximity contact and whatnot that we can go close to our kids and kind of encourage them. But online, it's very different. You've got to, they've got to see what's happening. You've got to say things to remind them.
You've got to be engaging regardless of the age. And then when it comes to effects, the really nice thing is regardless of what I'm doing, if I'm teaching kindergarten or I'm teaching 6th grade, I have effects that I have here, but let's give me something that is maybe a middle school topic or I don't know.
Ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt. So, here I can just type in, we're going to see our VIP Kid characters. But I can just type in Egypt.
I see a VIP Kid character. Ali.
So, you can have a lot of fun with your student. And
oh my gosh.
All right, class, today we're going to be talking about ancient Egypt. Like your kids are like, man, teacher, you're crazy, but I'm having so much fun.
Yes.
Like, how nice would it be if they get off the class and they were like, okay, mom, how was class today? Well,
they're going to do more research on it because they got so much out of the class.
Right. So just having these little elements. And again, it's not my green screen that's doing it. I can have my regular background behind it. Yeah. And I think that like, they're easy enough to do. So I think the easy component, now, if your school itself has certain mascots or certain ping files you have in your computer, you can drag in pings. You can drag in, like I reward my students with these, gifts.
All the dance
breaks. And I learned that from somebody else had shared that idea.
Right. And dance breaks are always good when you're doing, on maybe not for the VIP Kid classes, but I'm thinking of like online BMM teachers, right? You need to have those breaks and they'll be fun. Everybody can do it at the same time and you can put that on.
Right. Or you do a challenge like, okay, pick a number. Oh, now here's the dance the teacher has to do.
Right.
And the teacher tries to be silly. I mean, they're little things, but they're 1 or 2 minute little brain breaks or 1 or 2 second brain breaks that are going to get your student engaged. And so really the thing I like, Loretta, to go back to your original, was just those 3 components, just the drawing, the effects, and the timers.
The timer
alone are enough. Yeah. The fact that I have all of these feeds down here, I here was one from a writing class that I uploaded the students thing, we're able to go in and really look. So teachers, I'm a little green right now, I just, like I said,
yes.
But teachers can go right in and upload, like if they wanted to upload a page from a book or their document cameras or different things like that. They could do it. The other thing about ManyCam is you can, if you have a multiple users, so if it's studio or above, not 6 Apple Studio, because that only gives you one computer, but if you buy from ManyCam Studio, it gives you 2. There's a ManyCam app. And the nice thing about the ManyCam app is it can act as another camera.
Like a document camera.
Like a document camera. Right. So, you know, for all of these teachers that don't necessarily have document cameras.
Right.
Let me see if I, the other day, you know, get that. And I think I've used up all my, yeah, that's the issue. Let's see. It's not going to work. I used up all my computers. I have ManyCam on too many things. But if I had another ManyCam like user license, right? So you would use it as a document camera. You could go ahead and draw right there. So you don't need the district to buy you a document camera. You have an
right,
and you have it. So for art teachers,
oh yes,
who are doing for when you're teaching a lab.
Right.
Or something like that. You know, you can have your camera on you and you can have a camera down here and you can transition. Of course, you can always add your document. If you actually have a document camera or a second camera, a second even just webcam.
Right.
You can make the thing be a webcam, you know.
Right. It's in Zoom too. You can just use your phone to be a document camera.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, I think you posted a link where there is a discount or a sale going on for ManyCam up till the end of September or something like that.
Up to the end of September, yeah. So I will repost the link. There's a coupon, but then there's a coupon that will go with a link that gets you 30% off of Studio Lifetime, and
Studio and Lifetime and Premium as well. Wow.
Yeah. So those 4 specifically gets you 30% off. And the nice thing about if teachers are wanting to go in on this, if you do this, like if you do Studio, that gives you 2 computers. Technically, if you think you're only going to use one computer,
you can
chip in with somebody.
Yeah, share it with somebody.
Exactly. You do Premium, you can split it 3 ways with somebody. You know, one person is the main account holder. So it becomes an affordable component. You know? But I think as teachers, you know, we spend so much money, and I get it.
Oh, absolutely.
I get it. But our time is money.
Yes.
And the ManyCam program and things like digital teaching gives you back more time. And to me, that's worth it. You know, you're
definitely.
Spending all this time, like you can just do what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a question on the YouTube, and I'm going to just read it. So this is a question from Holly. Holly said she used to use Webcam Max, but it's no longer supported. She moved to ManyCam. She likes it. It is great. She just bought a green screen, better lighting, but have not set that up. She asked if you have any suggestions for her as she's setting that up this weekend.
As she's setting up the lighting. So one of the things I noticed with green screening, one of the biggest problems people have is, believe it or not, too much lighting. Too much lighting. Green screens, and especially external webcam. So I always say, if you're going to green screen, even actually if you're not going to green screen, Loretta, like, are you using an external webcam?
I have a Logitech external webcam, but I have a new MacBook Pro that's got like a really good, as you can see.
It's great. The MacBook Pro, the new one, has a phenomenal built-in.
Yes.
Generally, laptop computers, with the exception of, I've seen it in these newer, because it's like a computer and everything first and the camera second.
Right.
So a Logitech or any kind of external webcam is just a web camera. And so its white balance ability, or its ability to absorb light, is better. And in fact, that's the microphone I'm using right now as my webcam mic. So whenever I'm able to do these sort of things, I like to go headset free.
Got it.
Use my webcam. I don't use it when I teach, but I do it for webinars.
Right.
Lighting is all about daylight. You know how when you go to a studio and people are like, oh, let's go outside, let's take a picture, or take a picture by the window. The camera loves white light. So if you're teaching or you're going to green screen, you want to look into daylight bulbs. So if it's studio lighting or any kind of lighting. I'm not a fan of the ring lights for a few reasons. One, it's really bright LED.
Right.
Two, it's right in front of you.
Yeah.
For me, it causes migraines.
Right.
And they're really not meant to be anything other than a photography light, like an actual photography light. Not your main source of light. I use 2 studio lights.
Like those, like yeah. Okay, there you go.
So
And it's diffused. Yep. Softbox.
But if you look where I sit, they're off to the left and to the right of me. They're not directly in front of me.
Right. So are they like 45-degree angle to you?
Yeah, well, not even. They're just to the side of me.
Just to the side. Okay.
Just to the side. And it's enough light to light me and my green screen. Like, you want to be lit evenly.
Right.
You don't want to have like all this light on the screen behind you and then little light on you. I find that to be an issue. And some people will try to put a separate light on the green screen. Very rarely do you need that if you use white and diffused lighting. So generally I tell people, like, turn that light off. You know, you have too many lights. Turn 1 or 2 off, see what happens. Push the light back. I mean, think about it in like the flashlight effect. You know, if you have it right up in front, it's going to be a sharp, laser light. You want it, you want to light more. So further back.
Okay, so lighting is a very important thing when you're green screening, right? And daylight, daylight. I remember you saying daylight bulbs, just daylight.
Yeah,
that
daylight
really
bulbs.
helps.
Like over here, I'm like, this one is looking like this feed is looking better. I went in and I was messing around. So see how I'm kind of like greened out. So I think what I'm going to do is let me clear out this.
Okay.
And add myself back in a little bit. Oh, that didn't. Sometimes it gets a little bit like moody where my color picker, let's go to the jungle. I need to shut down. I actually need to close down. What the problem is, I've had ManyCam and I've had this on all day.
From when you were teaching this morning.
And so I started messing with things, but generally you will not see a light.
The green, like the halo.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone now. Yeah.
And a little bit here and there, but yeah, you generally don't see like the halo around me, but it's being a little bit moody right now. So that was one of the questions you had, like, what happens if it stops working in class?
Right.
Roll with it. Oh, hold on a second. Let me quickly shut my camera down. I'm always thinking if for some reason my computer froze and I had to shut ManyCam down in the middle of something. Right. I'm like, ooh, teacher's gonna be right back.
Right. Start singing. You can just quit ManyCam and and just click on your regular camera and come back, right? Right.
Sometimes if ManyCam is if your regular camera is in ManyCam, you can't because it's competing for the same camera.
Got it.
But it's just a quick, very rarely do I have to do that. It's as quick as it is changing lines. You just shut it off and restart.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So then that was the question that we answered for Holly. Holly, I hope you're still listening in.
And then I'm verbose. I'm sorry.
And then, all right, you did talk about webinars or workshops that you might be offering pretty soon for ManyCam basics. Do you offer paid workshops or paid courses for ManyCam users?
So, I think like I always, see, I'm terrible at referrals. I'm terrible at everything because I'm not the kind of person that, and it's probably to my financial demise, that does things because I want to make money. I do things because I love to do it. Yeah. So whenever I do a webinar or if somebody asks me for some one-to-one time and things like that, I let them know that I'm more than, I'm open to donations, which help me pay for my Zoom subscription.
Right.
But I don't have a set pay.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a set pay. I may need to start doing that. And I was looking into creating an e-course.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really good.
Yeah. So
that would be really good.
The fine line for the other part is, like, I don't work for ManyCam.
Right.
And so, but they appreciate me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, anybody can reach out to me. learnwithteachersam@gmail.com.
I'll make sure I link that as well. Below. Learn with Teacher Sam
@gmail.com. Or of course, Online Teacher Sam on Facebook.
Right.
And if somebody wants help or needs help or wants to do a session with me, just reach out to me. I'll be opening up to more and more webinars. I do put my PayPal for people if they choose to donate. It's wonderful. And if they don't, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I
But
do get it.
maybe she'll start doing that online course, you know, that e-course, and yeah.
When you do click on the link, if you use my coupon through my link, I do get an affiliate kickback from
okay. So we got to make sure that we put that link down below so that folks can actually click on it, because
you get
to purchase ManyCam, right? To purchase ManyCam.
Yeah. You get the 30% off.
Right.
So it makes no difference to you. And then ManyCam gives me like the small little kickback.
Right.
Promote, like, you know, because I talk about their product, but they never ask me to do that, you know.
Right. Awesome. So with VIP Kid teachers, right? You know, they complain about, well, I don't want to use ManyCam because we don't have a practice classroom. Does this matter if someone wants to get started on using ManyCam? Because from what I understand is everything is on the ManyCam camera itself.
Right. So if we go back to looking at my screen, my ManyCam screen, anything that's here in this live feed box,
right?
Let's get like bigger so you don't have to see everything on my computer. Anything that's in this live box is what your student sees.
Right.
So just practice within ManyCam. You don't need to be in the classroom. Like the student sees this. If I'm starting and class is starting soon, you know, my students see this at first, you know.
That is so cute.
Over, they see this at the end of class, you know. So I have my little screen. They'll see this. They'll see. So you can just practice right here within ManyCam. There's no need to be in the classroom. So you can take a look at your materials, right, from the VIP Kid platform. Right. You can look at like what the slide is and just practice what you think you're going to do if you want to do it. But you really do not need to be in the practice room. If you've set up ManyCam, you've installed ManyCam. I don't run my microphone through ManyCam.
Okay.
I use my microphone right in the classroom. VIP Kid platform doesn't seem to mind third-party video. It does not love third-party audio. So try to run your sound sometimes through ManyCam or play video through ManyCam. It used to work on, like, when we used to have, remember, you used to love line 8, you used to fear line 4.
Oh, yeah. We all love line 8.
So it used to work on line 8 and line 6. And then all of a sudden, when they redid the new classrooms, sound doesn't work so great. So I don't run my sound through it. Got it. So basically, your very first time, before even using digital effects, all you need to do is choose ManyCam as your camera in your classroom, and then just teach like you normally would. Your student's not going to see anything different. But if you want to add some video or digital component to it, you know, you can. So that's what I always say.
Clicking on stuff and it's going to appear.
I've had things where you're like, oh, didn't want that.
Silly. So how has ManyCam helped you in the VIP Kid world or VIP Kid land?
Well, I think I teach a lot. Mm-hmm. I book all, like I solidly book.
Yeah.
I get a lot of trials, you know. Mm-hmm. I think I close a lot of trials. Whether or not it's ManyCam. So here's the thing though, Loretta, it's a tricky little thing because any teacher is not just like, you can use props, but does it mean it's good? You can use digital effects and use it in a terrible way.
Yeah.
You know,
the teacher makes the teacher makes the difference.
The teacher makes the difference. Everything else is just supplemental, right? So I've taught now, I mean, I used to teach a huge high volume of classes, but my focus changed a little bit when I came into training and MCMing.
Right.
So let's say I teach with 38, so 3,838 classes taught. Of those, there are 524 different students. Okay.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of students just trying the program. I get a lot where like people will say, you know, this teacher or parent recommended. So I think as far as my class is, am I still sharing? No.
No, you're not.
Okay, good. I think as far as my classes go, the parents will always love that I change and I cater. And within VIP Kid, you know, the opportunities to train to speak at Journey was, I think I spoke at the most phenomenal journey that ever, you know, the journey of all journeys in DC, you know, which was nice because as a speaker, we got to go on a private tour of the Chinese embassy.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you know, there was some great opportunities there.
That was where I first saw Teacher Sam, and she had this wonderful dress, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's all like, do you remember which dress you were wearing?
I thought, it was a retro, it was a vintage orange dress. Yeah, I used to do pinup stuff, so I have fun with that a little bit.
And That was a great session. I mean, like you did the session with Karen and I think somebody else, and I don't remember his name. Yes. Yeah. And that was awesome. That was that for me, that journey, obviously that was my first journey. I had only joined Vipkid in September of 2019. So that was less than a month and a half, before that journey. And that was where I learned a lot about, this digital thing and being able to use stuff. Like I do have a green screen right here, but I don't use it. I don't use it. I just do the effects and it works and kids love it. Yeah, kids love it.
Whatever you just got to be comfortable with it. So I always say with my teachers that are learning with me, like start small, anytime my students get a star, I mean, this is so corny at this point, but I always like,
oh, you blow a star.
Stars, And so what happens in my classes, the students now, they blow
it.
Yeah. Every class. And then I laugh because they'll blow a star. I'll be like, good job. And they'll be like, and I'm like, hey.
That is funny.
Great. Okay, blow. And it's just hilarious. They get the belly laughs and the giggles and stuff.
Right. And that all helps with just student teacher interaction and making them feel good. And when people leave that classroom feeling good, they're likely to rebook you. And I mean, that's just normal, right? Like people that we like, we're gonna want to keep seeing.
Yeah, I know, right? It is until we don't.
We don't, yeah.
It is.
Right,
so it's given me that ability. It's given me flexibility, to appreciate being able to short notice book quite a lot and things like that.
And you also teach in the REP classes, right? The Rural Education Project classes as well. So I think I saw a video of you doing like well, maybe not of the kids because I think that might privacy issues and whatnot. But how do you use ManyCam with like that many students in the class, like with your lessons?
Well, one of the fun ways that I'm able to use it is I will put one of my screen selections will be on the classroom, right?
Okay.
So I had a picture and the students were blurred out enough. I wish I brought it. So what I can do is, one of the hard things, especially when I have a class of like 50 students, is to be able to say like, you. And, sometimes they don't understand the team. So what I will do is I'll put my camera over the class.
Oh, they don't understand the team? Is that what you just said?
That we're broken into teams or things like that.
Got it.
Do, like if it's a large classroom, instead of having teams of like 10 students, sometimes you just end up doing all boys stand up, all girls stand up. Right, but when I have like an older class of 7th and 6th graders, so what I did was I put my camera over the classroom. So in that large live screen, it's the students. Right. And then there's me as a picture in picture. And then I go into the classroom like with them. So it's fun. So if I have a student right here, I pretend to sit at the desk next to them. Right? And so then I'll say, how are you? And they laugh because if they're looking at the live thing, they're like, here's this teacher virtually sitting next to me.
Right.
Classroom. So that's how I use it a lot of times with my rural classes. I'll put myself into the class. I'll be able to like go over and like tap a student on the head and say, stand up. So they know exactly who I'm talking to. Right. I think that's the best component. And then it is still using Google Slides and just basically everything else,
Right. That's awesome though. That is kind of neat. I mean, to be a student and then watching like, oh, wait, how did this teacher...
Right. I'm in a living room in rural Massachusetts and in a classroom in a rural village in the mountains of China at the same time.
I know. It's perfect. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you know when your next ManyCam workshop will be?
They're going to be next week. I'm going to throw it out. So I have a few projects going on right now in my home area, and people are welcome to lend me their children as well. In my home area, what I'm doing right now is part of what I'm running a few different sessions where I'm meeting with parents, having them do a little project, and then I'm teaching their kids one like class. So I have a kindergarten class going on, a grades 3 through 5 class going on, and a middle school class going on, for the sole purpose of being able to collect like little video and running a class and showing them to show teachers and parents how to work successfully. That's my number one focus. However, I will be, and I say this all the time, I will be on my Teacher Sam page throwing out the videos. What I need to do is find the way to get people to register for it to prevent Zoom bombing in my
yes, definitely.
So that's what I just need to figure out, whether or not I'm ready to move over to a website versus a Facebook page. and get it where people can register for the free, free webinars sort of.
Got it. Okay. That's a good thing. Yes. So we'll keep an eye on it, and then we'll make sure we post it different places as well, because I think it is a great enhancement for any online virtual classroom, just, virtual classroom. I've only used it with Vipkid as well as private tutoring students that I have, right, on Zoom. And I also teach in the university. I think I'm going to start using it with my undergrad and graduate students. I think it'll be fun.
You can't engage too much, right?
Right.
And if you like anything else, your audience. So, whether, you might not blow their minds.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, if there's like a little video clip that you need them to see, or something you need to explain, or let's take a look at this, it's just, you're just not searching for something. It's just right there. I think that's what it is. You're just not searching, and you're not saying, oh, forget it, I'll get it ready for tomorrow. You're like, okay, here it is right now.
Right. And so Teacher Sam has actually shown us some fun things that you can do, like, for any online classroom. She showed us, like, you can write on stuff, you can do the text box, you can use the timer, right? Those 3 things that she showed us is like wonderful. You don't even have to have green screen for any of that, but if you add green screen to it, you can have virtual backgrounds that change every time you teach, right? That kind of caters to the topic at hand. Look at her. She's changing all with the different backgrounds. Awesome. And we know that your Facebook group is Vipkid ManyCamers.
Right. So the Facebook group is Vipkid ManyCamers, and my personal Facebook page is just Vipkid. Online Teacher Sam now.
Yes, Online Teacher Sam. Yes, Online Teacher Sam. So just go seek her out. All right. Now, Teacher Sam, if you have to give us only one important piece of advice for future and current ManyCam users, what would it be? Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Just try it. Try it. Don't overthink it. Don't wonder why does it do that when I do this? Who cares why? It just does it.
And remember, you can practice on the ManyCam camera itself. And that is what is going to show. And like, if you pick that, and if I'm using it on Zoom, right? Like right now you're on Zoom, but you're using a ManyCam on Zoom, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing. So basically it's the camera feed, right? So don't be afraid.
Crazy, because if I just took a minute and got on here a little bit earlier,
you're like,
but I need to reset because I did an update on a couple of things that I should have shut ManyCam down for before. But this is never here. Look.
Okay. Yeah. So it's more perfect than this.
Yeah.
So the one of the best I think pictures that I saw that she's posted about her use of ManyCam is really when she was like in a salad bowl. I think it was like for the salad trial.
I go in a Sprite. I go for a swim. I go in my salad. I go in my. Oh, there's another one that I go into. I don't even know if I have it. I always go into things but that's on the Google Slides. If there's
it's awesome. No, it's awesome. If you don't know anything about Google Slide yet, there is the Google Slides group, right? And that's where we can get a lot of our virtual, whether it's digital rewards or digital props, and we can use that on ManyCam when we're teaching our Vipkid classes.
Vipkid Google Slides official, if you unofficial, if you head on over there, there are slides for every single lesson out there. There are rewards.
Yes.
I'm a big fan. I use it for the rewards. I love my digital effects for classroom enhancements, but I love the digital rewards. There's the planner where you literally just need to copy and paste your schedule in there, and it'll give you different slides that already go with it, slide decks. It'll give you feedback that you can go ahead and use in your classroom. It gives you, it's just, and within the Google Slides group, there are videos and workshops consistently between Megan and Beth and Christina and Jackie. They're always running how to use Google Slides within ManyCam. So that's why I don't do too many videos of how to use Google Slides within ManyCam, because it's over there.
It's already covered. Yeah, it's already covered.
Wheel there too. Yeah, it's already there, and they do a great job with Google Slides within ManyCam.
It's awesome. It's wonderful. All right. So before we part, I do have one question that was not on the list of questions that I gave you. So I always, like I say, I always give questions to my guests beforehand, just so that, I'm not going to surprise them with anything, right? So you kind of know the parameters of where we're going to tell the story that that really everyone should be hearing with the use of ManyCam. But there is one question, and this question came from Roy. He wants to know, what is your favorite food? Because you're in the air fryer Facebook group.
Oh, Roy. Isn't that funny? I bought that. I know, it's so funny when you find people in groups that you're in.
Right, and it's not related to Vipkid.
If you do not have an air fryer, get an air fryer. Oh my God, I know. Roy's in there. I love to air fry sweet potatoes. So I slice up sweet potatoes and I throw olive oil and rosemary on them, and you just air fry them for
how long?
So those will go for like 20 minutes maybe.
Right.
I air fry everything. I air fry salmon or Brussels sprouts. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I air fry stuff too. I have the Ninja Foodie, so I have the air fryer and the Instant Pot.
7-quart. Oh my gosh. Air fry.
Isn't it awesome? So that's one of your favorite meals to cook, just the sweet potato air fry.
Fries, like homemade air fried sweet potato fries. That and a glass of, well, a good IPA actually. On the weekends, I work at a brewery now, so I serve.
Because I know you do acting as well.
I do acting. So my improv show is closed down because of COVID.
Well, because of quarantine and stuff. Yeah.
I still need people, so I just do like my own little personal shows as I'm bringing people drinks. They might not want to be entertained, but it comes in. And I do like a Hallmark, right?
Yes.
So there's a Lifetime Hallmark movie, Christmas.
Is it coming out this year still? Did you get time to finish?
Came out last year, and Christmas on Ice will be out this year.
Okay, yeah, because I saw when you were posting that, but I wasn't sure whether you all were able to finish filming before you had.
Yeah, we finished right before. It was really
that's great.
Cool. Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
So I don't know. Talk about it. Takes place in a small town, right? So as a small town person, I'm ice skating I had to ice skate for 7 hours. But then I work at City Hall. So I just had to keep walking past City Hall. And then I'm a construction worker. And all in the same movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yes. All right. I'm going to have to check it out. I'm assuming it's going to come out in December sometime. Because
November usually.
Yeah. Oh, November. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Teacher Sam. I really appreciate this. So Teacher Sam also goes by Paige.
Yeah.
I just want to let everyone know this. It's the same person.
Yeah, I know it's multiple personalities. My name is Samantha Page. Samantha Page Justy. And so when I joined Vipkid, of course, they
just take your first name.
Your first name. And I was like, oh, we're doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of telling the students to just call me Paige, I just went with Teacher Sam, and it was nice because I feel like I take on that persona.
Yeah.
But if you were visiting me here, or we were talking socially, you most likely would be calling me Paige.
Right. Just want to make that clear because it's like, wait, but there's a Paige and they both look the same. Yeah, this is the same person. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening in, tuning in. And thank you so much, Teacher Sam Page, for being here and answering all these wonderful ManyCam questions. And thank you for those who asked questions beforehand. Really appreciate it. Next interview you're gonna hear is Eric. Eric Chong. He is going to come online on Monday night, Eastern time at 8 p.m., which is his Tuesday morning at 8 p.m. So that would be August 17th, same channel at 8 p.m. All right. And I will send out the link. All right. Well, thank you so much again, everyone. Have a great day. Keep shining, keep smiling, and the best is yet